Hi, this is Power to Heal You, a channel for love, healing, and personal and spiritual evolution. Today is day number 2 of the Quit Drinking Challenge. That means no drinking for day number 2. Now, if you have been not drinking for a day, 2 days, even 2 hours, then I want to congratulate you, encourage you that you can do it. Keep up the great work. Now, if you fall off the wagon, get right back on it, because any day not drinking when that's what you want to do is a better day for your life and your health. You're taking control of your life. So congratulations on this positive action step. Today, I'd like to share with you 8 practical tips for quitting drinking or any other addiction that you might be afflicted with. My number 1 tip is to avoid trigger situations, especially right now. Do not be in situations involving alcohol on purpose. That means if you always go to the bar, for instance, after work, don't go there. If you always go to a particular restaurant or a friend's house where drinking was the normal routine for you, don't do it. There will be a time when you will be able to probably go to those places and be around drinking and not do it, but not on day 2 of trying to quit. That is basically just shooting yourself in the foot, and you don't want to do that. It's hard enough to quit something without having it in your face. Now, I know there's probably a lot of people whose partners, spouses, roommates still are drinking, and so really there's no way to get away from that. So if you're in that situation, then try not to spend as little time with them as possible. Just go do your own thing. Don't sit there with them watching TV while they're drinking beer or whatever. You need to switch it up. So that goes into my number 2 tip, is to switch up your normal routine. Now, when we switch up things, this is a wonderful refresher for the mind, and it makes things feel new and different and more exciting and exhilarating somehow. So don't do the same thing that you've always been doing if you want a different result. So even really small things like waking up a little earlier, starting your meditation practice, doing constructive, healthy activities that make you happy. It's just really, really important to do something different so you don't fall into the same old ruts and old habits. Which also leads me into number 3, which is replacing drinking or another addiction with healthier habits. And probably the number 1 healthy habit that can really, really help you, that a lot of people are very resistant to for different reasons, is to start a meditation practice. And even 5 minutes can make the biggest difference. And there's so many different forms of meditation. It doesn't have to be just sitting and watching your breath, even though that is a great way. You don't have to do it that way. You can gaze at a candle flame. You can use a mantra. It can be something really simple, such as when you have intrusive thoughts about alcohol or that addiction or anything else in your mind, you just notice that, and then you say something like, let it go. You can either say it aloud or inwardly. That's just one example of a mantra, and I will do future videos about that. But anyway, switching up the normal routine. Start your meditation practice. Yoga, that is my personal favorite life-changing activity. It's not just a workout, it's mind, body, and spirit. And in particular, hot yoga for me has been the greatest thing ever in my life. It's basically like a natural high. It's super euphoric for me. And I've also noticed huge changes in my body since I have been teaching 7 yoga classes a week for the last 8 months or so. So I definitely recommend yoga, hot or not. I prefer hot, but to each their own. You could go to the gym, work out. If you can't afford the gym, get yourself some little hand weights or do body weight exercises. Walking is another thing that you can do that's free, that gets you out of your, out of the house, outside in the fresh air and nature. Another thing, spending any time in nature, whether it's in the park, the beach, if you're lucky enough to be near there, or the mountains, or even just walking down the street if you're in a city. I mean, that's different than being in your 4 walls. So yes, spending time in nature or another constructive activity that you love. Do that instead of drinking. Number 4, lean on your support system and especially on your higher power. We are human. We all, it's hard to quit addictions. That's why, most people don't do it. So lean on your support system, your trusted friends. If you don't have a support system, you always have your higher power. And as I said before in previous videos, you can journal, you can introspect, self-help. What you don't want to do is replace that bad habit with another equally bad habit, such as watching TV for hours on end, or gambling, or there's plenty of other things that you want to replace your bad habits with good ones, not equally bad ones. Number 5, remember cravings pass quickly. Cravings usually only last for a minute or 2. So if you can make it through that, you are learning to control your mind. If you don't control your mind is going to control you. And the mind is what keeps us in total suffering hell. So we have to learn how to control the mind. That's another thing that we learn in yoga. But yes, you control your mind. Your mind does not control you. So those cravings, they're quick, they're temporary. They don't stay like that. They might feel super powerful at the time, but if you can just get through it with your support system or with your higher power, whatever you need to do to get through those cravings, do it, and then you're gonna feel so much stronger. And the more you do that, the more natural and easy that it seems. Okay, number 6. For our practical tips for quitting drinking is make a list of pros and cons that that drinking gives you. And I guarantee that there's going to be way more cons, because you can put hypothetical situations, even if you haven't experienced, say, trouble with the law, if you haven't had bad fights with your people when you're drinking. That's great, more power to you. But even if you haven't, you can put hypothetical situations such as, all the different things that can happen when you drink, all the possibilities. And there's so many more bad possibilities than there are good ones when we're talking about alcohol addiction. Number 7, listen to uplifting music or sound healing frequencies. My personal favorite YouTube channel right now is Meditative Mind, and they have tons of videos that will really help you raise your vibration and your frequency. They have things that are going to clear the negative energy in your house. They have like solfeggio frequencies that help you release unconscious negative blocks and things like that. So it really does make a difference. It truly, truly does. And it's not on the conscious level. But if you start listening to some of these things, just playing them in the background, I guarantee you will feel better and different. Number 8, our final tip, is when you are faced with a craving and you just really want to go down to the store and get your drink of choice, Just stop right there and take deep breaths for a minute or two. And by that point, probably at the end of that, you are going to realize that this is not what you want to do. Because you want to change your life. You want to move forward in a positive direction. You do not want to be a slave to your addiction anymore. So taking the minute or two to take deep breaths and recenter, it might just be enough to get you over that hump. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. Best of luck in your quitting journey. Please stay tuned for future videos. Tomorrow's video will be how to stop obsessive thoughts. And love you guys, and namaste.